You're listening to Financial Advisor Marketing, the best show on the planet for financial advisors who want to get more clients without all the stress. You're about to get the real scoop on everything from lead generation to closing the deal. James is the founder of theadvisorcoach.com, where you can find an entire suite of products designed to help financial advisors grow their businesses more rapidly than ever before. Now, here is your host, James Pollard.
Financial advisors, it feels so good to be here. I am pumped up. I'm honored to even be here right now. I have such a big catalog of podcast episodes. So big, so large, so tremendous. The biggest podcast catalog anyone has ever seen. Many people have told me it's a tremendous podcast catalog.
I love it.
People can go back a little Trumpy in here.
Yeah, huge. It's going to be huge.
A huge podcast show. Huge, tremendous. Many people have said it's the greatest podcast catalog they've ever seen. We are at the point where you can go back and you can listen for literally hours. Let's do some math here. So this is episode 103, 104?
104.
104. Okay, so let's say that we have 104 episodes. You can hear the clacking in my calculator here. Each one, let's say, is an average of 20 minutes. I mean, I've got some interviews that are 40 minutes long. I've got other episodes that are like 15 minutes long. But let's say an average of 20. That's 2,080 minutes. Divide that by 60 to see how many hours that is. Ooh, 34.6 hours. Holy moly. This is the point where if you're a brand new advisor, you can listen to these episodes. You can get almost, not everything, because I'm honest with you that you're not going to get everything in a free podcast. I'm telling you, just being transparent with you. You're never, not just with me either. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to get everything you need to succeed in a free podcast, but you can get almost everything you need to succeed. Now, nobody can cover every little detail, but I'm giving you quite a bit. I mean, 34.666 hours of content for free. Don't charge you nothing. No sponsors. I'm not breaking off in the middle of a show saying, you know what? My favorite underwear is MeUndies. You can get your pair of MeUndies. None of that. Don't do that. I am the sponsor because I got stuff that can help you. So I want to start the show off with a little, it's going to be weird, I promise. A little something called marketing incest. Okay. If you're in the marketing world, you've heard this before. This is not my concept. This is not my original thinking. And I originally heard this from Ben Settle, email marketing extraordinaire. If you are an Inner Circle member, one of the bonuses you get upon signing up is an interview with Ben Settle about email marketing and some of the things that I have learned from him. And when he said that, when he said marketing incest, I actually think he got that from Dan Kennedy, though. I immediately saw the parallel to the financial services industry. So here it is. So back in the 1990s, there was the pickup artist industry where all these guys were going out and learning how to pick up women. And whether you agree or disagree with that or think it's offensive, like just put your opinions to the side here. Learn the marketing lesson here. It was on fire. I mean, you got the book, The Game and all that. It was a big freaking deal. And the marketing world was selling this stuff like you wouldn't believe. They were creating courses and books and programs like learn to pick up women, become Casanova and all this other stuff. So there was a guy, his name was Neil, and Neil dressed like, he dressed with like leather and fancy clothes, and he shaved his head, and he would do all these things to pick up women. Well, he was so good, and he got so well known that other people started copying him. So they dressed the same way, they shaved their heads like him, and they even used all of his pickup lines without any context. And that's important. I mean, you need the context in order to make the lines work, but they would use them without context. And that's dangerous. So these strategies were so common that eventually they stopped working. Because think about this. All those guys looked exactly the same, and they did all the same things. They were all just copying each other. Women would just point and laugh. So it started off well, and it was working, and then it didn't work because everyone was doing it. That sounds a lot like copycat advisors. It's starting to get bad, Jonathan. They're saying the same things, and they copy each other to the point where none of their strategies work as well as they otherwise would. and this did come from Dan Kennedy. It just hit me right now. He did call this marketing incest. This happens in a lot of areas, even with something as simple as a funnel building software. Funnels are not new. I know that people think they were invented in 2014. Like, it's not new. It's not new stuff. It may have been hot when it was reinvented and it was like a new concept, but now everyone sees it and they get a bad taste in their mouth because it's so common. And financial advisors, let me just save you the trouble. If you click on an expert's ad or a marketing expert's like social media link or whatever, and it takes you to a funnel builder page, it takes you to something like ClickFunnels. I have nothing against ClickFunnels. It's an amazing software. It's run by amazing people. But when you see that their website, the quote unquote expert's website, is built on something like ClickFunnels, here's a news flash for you. It means that they've set it up in less than 5 minutes. They're looking for the easy way to build their site. They're looking for something that they can just test, right? They're not serious. If you go to someone and they've got their actual website and everything is built on their own domain and their site, they are serious. Don't just take that for what you will. I'm not going to get deep into that, but you've been warned, financial advisors. If you see an expert or a coach or a guru or whoever pose out there and you click on the page and you're taken to a ClickFunnels site, you've been warned. And I'm even a victim of this. I'm a victim of the marketing incest. I named my business The Advisor Coach before coaching was a big thing. Now, I know people have this preconceived notion of me because of the business name alone, and it sucks. It sucks because everybody is a freaking coach now. They coach this, and I'm a life coach, and I coach you with your sleep. And I mean, I have sleep coaches, but I coach you with your Facebook and coach you with your Twitter and coach you with your text messages. Like, everyone is a coach. It's insane. So I have been a victim of this. Now, in 2021 and beyond, I have to be labeled as the advisor coach because that's what my decision was. And it was before coaching was so hot. Now it's everywhere. But you've got to stop this marketing incest if you want to succeed. And what we're talking about today is a way you can be different from everyone else. And we're talking about why you should stop introducing yourself to prospects. Sounds strange? Well, maybe it is.
Hey, financial advisors. If you'd like even more help building your business, I invite you to subscribe to James's monthly paper and ink newsletter, The James Pollard Inner Circle. When you join today, you'll get more than $1,000 worth of bonuses, including exclusive interviews that aren't available anywhere else. Head on over to theadvisorcoach.com/coaching to learn more.
Let me explain. Years ago, this financial advisor hired me to critique his team's phone call script. Now, I don't know why, because that wasn't really what I did. But being the little time whore I am, he offered me a bunch of money and asked me to do it. And back then, I would just say yes to whatever opportunity came across my desk. Because I thought that's what you did. I thought that's what you did in business. I was very, very wrong. I don't operate like that anymore. So thankfully, those days are long gone. But I am glad I said yes to this project because it contained a valuable lesson. And it's a lesson I'm going to share with you today. His script sounded something like this. Hello, this is Joe Blow with XYZ Financial here in Anytown, USA. I'd like to take some time to introduce myself and learn a little bit about you and your goals. Does Tuesday at 4 p.m. or Wednesday at 1 p.m. work better for you? Well, this, in case you don't realize it by now, this script totally failed, and it failed for several reasons. First, the whole idea of quote unquote introducing yourself, it means that the meeting will be all about you. When you say something like that, your prospect immediately visualizes a boring meeting where they drone on and on and on about where you drone on and on about your experience, your quote unquote experience, your company's, let me guess, your storied history, and a whole bunch of other crap they don't care about. And this isn't limited to cold calls either. This is the Financial Advisor Marketing Podcast, so we're going to relate this to other areas of marketing. If you talk about yourself and nothing but yourself with something like email marketing, it's probably not going to do as well. The same with LinkedIn. If you do nothing but post about yourself and the challenges that you have and your successes, people are probably going to tune out. You want to make it about your target market. What do they want? What can you do for them? Now, the next reason that this script failed is because it used the alternative of choice close. Now, this is very common in sales. I get it. You can read Cardone and Gittimer and Tracy, and there are so many different Hopkins and all these trainers that tell you closing, closing, closing. Well, it may work if you're a car salesperson, you're given shoe shines at the airport. But if you're a financial advisor, wake the flip up. This doesn't work. So when he said, does Tuesday at 4 or Wednesday at 1 work for you? It's just a cheesy sales tactic from the 1950s. People can see right through it. The stuff written by Tracy, Hopkins, Cardone, all these people, it works. Like, it does work. They have amazing material, but it just doesn't work for financial advisors. Hopefully that makes sense. So if you're getting sales advice, make sure that it's tailored specifically to financial advisors. And the whole closing tactics thing, it is a good example of marketing incest, or should I say sales incest, because salespeople copied each other and they used this close, and now it's completely overdone. And by the way, financial advisors, if you want to improve your sales process, if you want to call it that, as a financial advisor, I've got a product designed to do just that. It's called 37 Sales Tips for Financial Advisors. And you can find that over at theadvisorcoach.com, and you can click on the products tab. I'm not going to talk about it too much here because that's not the point of the show, but it's definitely worth it if you want to improve the sales function of your business. It's built specifically for financial advisors, and it takes care of all of the other things that I'm talking about, where like traditional sales tactics and closing and all the other stuff, it doesn't work. And if you don't believe me, you can try it for yourself. You can read one of the old school sales books. You can take their advice and you can try that with your prospective clients. And then you can take my advice and just try it. Just see which one works better. So if you think that I don't know what I'm talking about, or if you are wondering if it's going to work for you, just try it. If you don't like it, let me know. We have a 365-day money-back guarantee because it works. Now, with his script, a much better approach would have been to briefly introduce himself for real, not just saying, I'd like to get to know you. I'd like to introduce myself. I'd like to do this, whatever. But just introduce yourself for real. Hi, my name is Joe from XYZ Financial. I'm new to the area. I'm doing this, whatever. And then set up a meeting with a legitimate purpose. Meaning the purpose of the meeting would not have been to introduce yourself. It would have been about delivering something tangible and valuable to the prospective client, even if all he could do is figure out if he could help the client in the first place. Hopefully that makes sense. The meeting is not about introducing yourself. The meeting is about something valuable. Your prospects are not going to care about you introducing yourself to them in the meeting. They're not going to take time out of their day to do that. Remember, prescription without diagnosis is malpractice. Now, sometimes the best quote unquote introductory meetings as a financial advisor, it's all about getting to know your prospective clients. It's not about you. It's not about vomiting a bunch of information about you and your company and your story and your history. It is about getting to know them. So just be transparent. You approach people this way. You say, hey, I've got no idea if I can help you or not. I help people just like you. I don't know if I can help you specifically or not, but I'd like to find out. And assuming you can help everyone is just wrong anyway. You can't help everyone. If you think you can, or you tell yourself you can, you're lying to yourself. You cannot help everyone anyway. So just be candid about it. People appreciate that. And I think that's one of the things that you do well over at the Podcast Factory, producer Jonathan. You say, I help at this point. You didn't used to say it. I know you didn't. You say, at this point, I help coaches and consultants with their podcasts.
Indeed.
So one of the examples I gave in a previous episode was about LinkedIn outreach. I think it's episode 101. So instead of saying, hey, I'd like to set up a time to introduce myself, say something about the person's background. Like, hey, I noticed you're involved in alligator mud wrestling. Do you still have all your fingers? So you're talking about them.
Nice.
Then you offer the person a piece of free content. You're asking for permission, and it's something that's related to him or her. It's, again, not about you. It's not about you. It's about them. It could be as simple as saying, curious, are you looking for a way to improve your alligator mud wrestling skills? If you are, I've got a great guide to rear naked alligator chokes that I can share with you. Would you like to see it? Now, that may seem cheesy. I know that unless your niche is alligator mud wrestlers, I guess. I don't know. But the point is clear. By making it all about your prospects, your chances of building a real relationship are much higher. So to sum it up, stop introducing yourself. I say that with finger quotes. You can't see that because it's a podcast, obviously, but quote unquote, introducing yourself, and start positioning yourself to serve people, to help them, because that's how you build a business that stands the test of time. You get to help people. Your opportunity is to make an impact in the world. You get to give something that's worth much more than the money you're exchanging with them. So that is a wrap for this week.
Beautiful. What do you have coming up for us next time, James?
I don't know. So if you have any ideas, please send them to james@theadvisorcoach.com. I can't promise I'll get back to you, but we read all the emails and we take them seriously. I take my own advice about taking people's opinions and their show ideas. So we are here to serve. So if you've got an idea, again, send that to james@theadvisorcoach.com.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another Financial Advisor Marketing is wrapping up, but worry not. We will be back with you next time. Thank you for tuning in.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.